We have to head over to Chicago where a couple got into an argument just hours after their baby shower, the argument supposedly over the microwave. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. If you're watching from Chicago, drop Chicago below in the comments. 29-year-old Calvin Sidney attended a baby shower planned for his baby that was expected to be delivered within weeks. His girlfriend, 33-year-old Keisha Golden, 8 months pregnant. The baby shower was just like any normal occasion, fellowshipping with family, games, gifts. They had food left over after the event, ended up getting hungry around 3 in the morning, and that's when they started arguing over who would reheat their food first. Once Calvin warmed his food, Keisha was so angry that she decided to knock his plate out of his hands. Calvin retaliated by shoving Keisha on the counter, and that's when Calvin's uncle stepped in and separated the two. After Calvin's uncle intervened, Calvin stormed off into the bedroom. Keisha kept arguing and fussing. That's when she picked up a knife from out of the kitchen, ran in the bedroom where Calvin went to get space from her, and stabbed him in his leg. Keisha then dropped the knife and ran out of the apartment. Calvin's relationship with Keisha was very toxic. Police called to their home 5 times between June and September 22, where each time Keisha pointed the finger at Calvin, telling them that he allegedly attacked her. And this latest incident was not the first time Keisha stabbed Calvin. A couple of months before, in August of 2022, they got into another argument. During that dispute, Keisha also picked up a knife from the kitchen and stabbed Calvin in his neck. He recovered from that incident and told authorities that he did not want to press charges against his pregnant girlfriend. Fast forward to October 22nd, 2022, the day of the baby shower. She reached over and slapped the plate out of his hands. The food fell on the floor and Calvin pushed Keisha on the counter. She took the knife, ran in the room after him, stabbed him in the leg, and left the house. The blade struck Calvin's femoral artery. He ended up bleeding out, and this time he did not survive. A few hours later, Keisha returned to the home. That's when police arrested her. She didn't know that Calvin passed away. In fact, Keisha's mother, Tarsha Ellis, she told reporters that Keisha didn't mean to kill anyone. Her mother said she's broke up about it. She didn't know you could kill someone by stabbing them in the leg. She just wanted him to leave because he was acting out, and she was worried about hurting the baby, and he wouldn't go. Her mother went on to say it was just toxic with those two, but they loved each other. If he could raise up right now, they wouldn't have no case because he would never want charges against her. This lady said if Calvin would come back alive, they wouldn't have a case because he would never want charges against her. Ma'am, if your daughter hadn't stabbed him, they wouldn't have a case at all because the man would still be alive. And of course, her mother has no interest in accountability. She never said my daughter shouldn't have picked up a knife or my daughter shouldn't have started arguing with a man over food in a microwave. She never said my daughter should have waited her turn. Keisha literally could have waited 2 to 3 minutes to use the microwave. That's it. It's her impatience and her incompetence that caused all of this, mixed in with her out of control anger. Her mother never said my daughter shouldn't have continued to escalate the argument by slapping the plate out of his hands. And then Keisha was yelling for Calvin to leave at 3 in the morning in Chicago in the middle of the night. Where did she want him to go exactly? I mean, all of this because she couldn't wait 2 minutes for the microwave. And listen, I don't want to hear any excuses about her being pregnant. She was not going to pass out from starvation in 2 minutes. It's not like she had gone days without eating. It was literally a couple of hours before she had her previous meal, and she couldn't wait 2 minutes. Well, she's going to be waiting to use the microwave longer in prison, and she can fight every day with the other women over who can go first. Like, what else is she supposed to do besides braid hair? She's never been held accountable. This was the 6th incident within the last 4 months, and something tells me that her mouth, her disrespectful behavior was the culprit of every argument. One, she didn't respect Calvin. He's 29 years old, she's 33. A woman who will slap a plate out of her man's hands is a woman who has zero respect for him. It shows the dynamic of their relationship. She would start yelling, screaming, and getting aggressive, get physical. He fought back, and then she would call the police. And that's why he never got in trouble all those times. When they came to the house, they realized Keisha was a whole demon, but they didn't want to demonize her because she was a woman, a black woman, and she was pregnant. On top of that, she was doing exactly what the state's purpose is for her to do. Now, here's where Calvin messed up. He messed up when he got this woman pregnant. He already knew she was toxic. He already knew she was aggressive. He already knew she was a mad dog. And not only did he get into a relationship with her, but he got her pregnant. Calvin did not protect his seed, so he gave her another layer of control by putting a baby in her. That made zero sense. On top of that, he had 5 more clear signs to get away from this witch. We're talking from June to September. He ignored every single alert, every single one, even almost losing his life in August. You know, Calvin probably stayed with Keisha because of the baby. He didn't want to leave her while she was pregnant. He wanted to raise his child with her together, but you can't fit a square into a circle. Calvin wouldn't have had that problem if he didn't get her pregnant. There was no way that this woman was wife material. That's why he didn't wife her up. That's obvious. You see a woman over here arguing over using the microwave? A wife would have warmed up both plates, served him his plate, and then grabbed hers. But obviously Tarsha didn't teach Keisha that either. So yeah, it's obvious that she wasn't wife material. And she wasn't mother material either. I'm sorry, just because you have organs doesn't mean that you're fit to be a mother or a father. Everyone is not qualified to be a mother, father, husband, wife. Keisha, she's being held by the county. She's at the hospital at the complex, not in general population. The attorney said to not only force Keisha to give birth in jail, but to immediately take her child away after birth is cruel to the mother and the baby, and criticized the $2 million bail order set by the judge, which will require Keisha to post a $200,000 bond to be released. You know, what's cruel to the baby was the mother taking the life of his father, which is why the baby will have no mother or father and will be in state custody. They're acting like this happened for no reason, and then painting Keisha out to be the victim. This is another reason why men not wanting to tell on women or press charges. It serves no purpose. It only allows them to paint the picture that you're the problem without ever telling your side of the story. So now Keisha is able to delete Calvin, and basically her attorneys will put Calvin on trial to fight for Keisha's freedom. Sending condolences to Calvin's family, his uncle that was there to separate the two of them. He had to basically watch his nephew's last moments. And it's just not right. Pregnant or not, Keisha deserves life just like anybody else. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Keisha's mom, Tarsha, said Keisha didn't mean to do it. She had no clue that someone could pass away from a leg stabbing. Is this justification good enough to let Keisha walk? Shout out to Dark Power, Daryl, and Donald. I appreciate you for your support, as well as everyone who sent this story in, Ewan, Josh, and our sister Amanda. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.